train to base. Under attack by commie Nazis.
Hi. I think that's fine. Hi everyone. My name is No? I didn't forget my name. But I go by Honey Based Nene. I don't go by my original name because most people would pronounce it wrong. If you've already gone through to the introduction of this channel, you will know that I'm a third worlder, I guess is what you could call it. And yeah, I'm quite excited to be starting. This is my first video on YouTube, numero uno, and I'm quite excited at the thought that like in 10 years time I'll be looking back at this video and I will cringe at maybe some of the things that I did here, but you know, good memories are starting today. So yeah, it's a new day. It's a new day for a word I'm going to be saying a lot on this channel, but nuance. Well, maybe a new decade. New wave sort of. I said new a lot. I said new a lot. Also, new wave animation rush, a euphoric high. Even this year in animation has made me feel like, for lack of a better phrase, a kid in a candy store. But actually, I think that's the most appropriate phrasing for this. And I'm just going to pretend that the bad ones don't exist until I remember them. But right now, I'm going through what people generally do when they have nostalgia: is only care for the good parts of it. So I decided to start a YouTube channel, and a part of that is because I wanted to monetize on my interests. I don't know, yo. I'm unemployed.
Looking for a motherfucking job.
And I've been watching so much animation this year. 2023 has been the year of joblessness and plenty of cartoons. And yeah, that was not the best way to start this video. How am I gonna start this? Anyway, this whole feeling, this whole like excitement about animation and where it's going right now really came to a header, I guess you could say, when I watched one show in particular. And then I actually watched another show after that because I wrote this like I think maybe 6 months ago. And I'm only realizing now that there have been so many shows afterwards that would have better fit that. But for now, we are going to be talking about, and I'm sure you've seen this in the title, Lazerhawk, Captain Lazerhawk. A remix. Yeah. Let's get into it. I'm going to be reviewing this as a standalone thing. So whatever happens in the video games or whatever context you can add to this, just add it in the comments and try to be nice about it. You can enjoy media as a standalone thing, is what I'm saying. So the show happens in a world that's run by, I have bad memory retention. I'm going to say they're Eden. Yes, Eden. So by a corporation named Eden, that practically functions as a surveillance state, really. They have dropped poverty down to 1% by introducing a universal basic income, which sounds like something a commie would want, but...
Under attack by commie Nazis.
This isn't the channel for that. I have a channel for that. It's called The Balls to Matrix. If you want to get into topics like that, you should go there. I'm just saying. So yeah, crazy enough, they've been able to eradicate. They say that they've been able to. You'd think that it should be able to. You think that it'd be able to eradicate the wealth disparity and hierarchies enforced via those wealth disparities, but not so much. In this world, we have human animals. I forgot what the name is. I think it's inertia. Anthropomorphic. Yes. They live alongside human beings. They were man-made, and they exist as a slave class. The show has made me start to think about TV shows around class struggle and how we end up reflecting on those shows. It's also made me think about so many other things, but it's really hard for me. I had to like find a way to just like saturate it into one argument. And the thing that mainly caught me off with this, even though there are many other things that many other arguments you can form for this show, is that the whole class struggle concept is sadly underrepresented in a lot of media. What I was actually supposed to do is finish describing this. I'm not following my own essay. This is my first video. Go easy on me. So we follow Captain Lazerhawk. That's the main guy. He's a dude of color. I really like that. I would like to believe that he's Indian. I don't know what he is, but that would be nice. More Asian male characters in the head male characters. Anyway, more Asian dudes in those roles. Definitely something that I celebrate. And he's queer. He has a very nice partner named Alex. My favorite one is obviously Bullfrog. I don't know if you can tell that they might be I don't know. Then there's Jade and other characters. Jade I also really like. And there's just something about me liking people when things not going great for them. And yeah, those are the characters that I like in the show. I don't know. I really don't want this to be a video with a lot of what's the word? I really don't want this to be a video with a lot of spoilers because this is not one of those you can just put in the background and just watch the show in a this word I'm looking for here. Like you're not watching the show, you're watching the show through me. Don't do that. Don't search for those videos. Actually watch this. So this is one of those ones that's worth it. If anybody does want any videos where I just talk about the show and that's how you're gonna watch it because you don't want to either hate watch it or something, I'd gladly do those videos. You can leave recommends down in the comments below. Anyway, something I think animation has been missing in some years now. Honestly, I don't know if I would say I'm full on with this. This might not be the best hypothesis to go off of, which might not bring you much confidence in this video. But I feel like a lot of animation that we've had lately has definitely been missing the mark on truly being anti-authoritarian. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like there probably has been like one or two works over the years that have been very ambitious and have spoken a lot to how bad the powers that be are and what we need to change that. And I would love any one of those examples in the comments. But what I've built this video on is the fact that I just don't feel like a lot of animation in general that has come out consistently. Like it hasn't been consistent. Let me say that it hasn't been as consistent as I felt it's been this year in terms of animation that really gets to the crux of the situation, of the entire power structure of society, if you get what I'm saying. I know there've been attempts, and you know, because I want to give a good example here. I like my examples. I think about, the attempts sort of being anti-authoritarian, but in a surface level argument kind of way, where it's like, yeah, we're against overconsumption. I think all of us are against overconsumption. We're against environmental degradation. Unfortunately, that's not all of us. And we all know about immigration and the difficulties that come with it. And some of us, well, not all of us know. We know there are some bad faith actors who really could not care less. We all have, we all understand love and generational trauma and all these things that have been, have been themes in a lot of really good animated works over the years, but yet still on my side, I still feel like there's still something that was really missing in a lot of these. I think when you want to speak to how bad power structures are and you want your arguments to go beyond, or your visual story to go beyond surface level surface level engagement with those things. It is important to have something that I think is missing a lot. And I said this so many times. Nuance. Nuance is what's missing. I really think without nuance, your story will fall short a lot. Because wanting a story to have an ultimate baddie and an ultimate good person leaves us with a lot of iffy things that are not the best. I mean, I can think of a couple of stories right now where I felt like there was not enough nuance given, where we were just given one character who's good and one character who's bad, and because of that, we end up having to interpret good through whoever the creators or whatever the creator and whoever the creators in general are sort of views, through their views. So yeah, so a lot of sticking it to the man kind of concepts, which I think has been something that's been pretty big in animation. Sticking it to the man is something that, again, I really, this is something that I think a lot of us do agree on. Maybe not a lot of us, but practically all of us actually agree to it. We all are inspired by stories where there are heroes who are brave enough to sort of say, yes, there's an entire mountain hill in front of me, but I am going to forge my path through it by fire, by will, by fire, by force, by fire, by force. Yes, by fire, by force. I will find my way there. The underdog story is a story as old as time and one of the most inspirational stories that human beings have for ourselves. And a lot of concepts have been trying to follow that. I think you think of, sort of Wall-E, who was going against an entire system that, and an ideal. Overconsumption had become an ideal, a way for people to live and feel free and everything. It had been instilled in them for so long. I mean, what else? Let's see. What's that other movie, man? I'm gonna remember the name. It's supposed to be a movie about after death Hispanic people. I forgot what the name of the movie is, but I mean, yeah, the little boy is up against, an entire system, an entire hierarchy where certain people who died end up with nothing, who end up forgotten, end up with nothing. So you have to go to the afterlife with social capital, which works as a form of just general capital in that, in that society. And yet they do nothing to break that society apart. Uh, we have other concepts like sheesh. I'm gonna really struggle because my memory retention is not a-okay, is not great. So there are other examples I could come up with. But yeah, I really feel like a lot of them, we really needed a refreshing new set of perspectives. And we really needed some bare bottom bears. Yeah. I didn't realize how much I really wanted a bare bottom bear. So I don't know any of the video games from what I've seen. Whenever I've have read up on it. Oh God, okay. I mean, confession time. I wrote this video or wrote the essay for the video and everything like 6 months ago. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've lost some steam for this show. Like I've kind of lost the passion. I have to rewatch it, but like I'm watching something else right now, and I'm enjoying that right now. So I'm just gonna release this video either way with the points that I've already put down. So I'm okay. Going back to my point on nuance and a lack of class struggle media, it's very hard out there to find media that is really good at incorporating the class element of it when they're doing anti-authoritarian things. Because I find a lot of anti-authoritarian things to be very surface level. Again, I've already spoken about like overconsumption and them touching on things about immigration, love, and all sorts of other things. But so many times they really do miss out on the greater institutions that affect those things. When I watched forgotten name of movie, we'll definitely insert it here in post production. It was the ending was really infuriating for me because it was like this little boy did nothing to unsettle a system, a hierarchy that he came into, where and a hierarchy that comes after death. That's one of the worstest ones, bro. That's one of the worstest ones. Like you had to build social capital so that when you die, so that when you die, you're able to be rich. You become rich off of how many people will remember you. And already that kind of feels like a form of generational, like unfair wealth disparity that's created by generational sort of things, because the people who are remembered the most will have come from families that were a lot more well off. Those families could have survived longer. Those families could build up their names and their communities and everything. So it is actually capitalism in the afterlife. And that's a really sad thing to think, that the person who comes to undermine that doesn't actually do anything to destroy the system, but instead just just changes a little bit to it. And especially when it's people of color, this little Hispanic boys, I hope I'm saying the right thing here. This little Hispanic boy comes and doesn't really change an immigration system that really is just unjust. Instead, he just finds a way to get his uncle up the ranks. The entire thing that you're supposed to be happy about is that a person who was unfairly cheated out of becoming wealthier than everyone else who is, you know, unfairly in the position that they're in the first place. It's supposed to make us happy, and that's not for me, you know. Not in my house. I'm not happy with that. So I'm spending too much time talking about this movie that I forgot the name of, and will definitely insert the name of in post production. Because it's the first example that comes to my mind. Maybe also because it has a brown main character. But it's very weird for me when we get those kinds of things. The overconsumption thing with Wally, I'm sure. Oh, wait. So am I going to say going back to my point on nuance again? Whoa. When I look at you. Okay. So, like, the unfortunate thing is, even if you show everybody what the contradictions of their own ideologies are, or even the contradictions of general just oppressive ideology. Not every ideology has contradictions, unfortunately, but certain contradictions can be fixed, and certain ones can't. Can and can't. Yeah, I said can and can't. Okay, yeah. Certain ones can't, and the ones that are impossible to really make up for, people still are not going to change their minds just because you show them that. Want to show that this can, people can change once they see the ways that these things affect them. But I feel like there are ways that we can interpret that are a bit more, or represent it, or put it in stories that are a bit more creative, that are a bit more nuanced. I know I use that word so much right now. But like one of the ways that I think Captain Laserhawk definitely does that is in the characters. Again, like I said, it's not a time thing. A lot of the characters are on there for a very short amount of time, but we still get a lot about them through that time, and we still get a lot about the system around them and how it functions and how it affects them in a very short span of time. We get people who are, just absolute victims of that system. It's very hard to see them as perpetrators of much, but at the same time, there are things that they need to do to survive that could actually hurt other people. We have characters who are just bad. They're just bad. And that can happen in society too. Certain people can just be bad. Certain people's minds can just not be changed, no matter what you do, no matter what you show them, no matter how many horrors represent themselves, even in their own lives. Sad but true, you know. It's like, if there is anything that I'll generally fight tooth and nail for, it's the idea that TV shows, or not TV shows, Ooh, I want to say TV shows. I'm not a TV show person. Animated work that I've watched this year, and I think animated work in general has been showing a definite amount of improvement in storytelling and in the visuals. I think there are a couple of animated things that I could name that are definitely better than some of the golden classics that you get these people who unfortunately exist in every single fucking subculture, I guess you'll call it, or I'll call it that, or in any kind of grouping. You find these people who come with this really, and I'm going to call it what it is, it's fascisty. It's a fascisty idea that there was a time when things were good and perfect and great, and now things suck. And I really do tend to get very annoyed at those people because I feel like they're just not looking and they're just not watching. It's a very strange thing for me as well that this show has gotten no rage at all. I'm always sort of like questioning which shows and why those shows end up with so much outrage on them, because this show has a lot of queerness to it, like a lot of queerness, like a lot of queerness. It has a main character who's a person of color, and it has many other people of color in it. I would even say that it barely has people who seem white or white adjacent, you know, apart from one very, very special man. But outside of that, and even with animals, I could make a whole video about how animals are generally black and brown adjacent and not white adjacent unless they're given blue eyes. Like, it's a very weird thing for me. If anyone noticed, the Planet of the Apes, the main ape has blue eyes. It's very weird, but anyway, I can get into a whole video about that. This video is not going in the direction that I hoped it would. I don't think anything I've said has been nice, precise, concise, precise, proper. I don't. It hasn't really followed any kind of thing. So I think when I do upload it, I'm just gonna upload it as a this is an opinion video and not a video essay, because no way. I'm not gonna revisit this. I'm not gonna revisit this. I had a point. I didn't exactly make that point, but I don't think that's too bad, honestly. I just really like this show, and I think when I was writing for it, I was just writing off of really loving the show and feeling like I just am generally happy with 2023 and the animation that we've gotten this year. Not just 2023, because I'm making the video now, I guess it would be that, but generally the 2020s, I guess, I've been quite happy with some of the animated features that we've gotten. I mean, I've been spoiled for choice in certain arenas, and I mean, there are times when I feel like I have nothing to watch, but maybe that's just because there's severe lapses in when things are released. So I do feel spoiled for choice. I do feel like I have watched things that were exceptional, and I'm not going to make videos going forward on what's the most popular thing at the time, because I think that also ruins things for me. Rather, I want to make things on what brought me onto something and gave me a real emotional, even if it's not good. Um, the word emotional, like a happy feeling, a happy good time feeling. Anyway, I really enjoyed this show. I think that their take on class struggle is really good. I think when it comes down to it, though, if there is something that I was hoping for, it's that when I do see shows like this, I immediately just assume I'm gonna be watching something that will really make people sort of go out there and do their research, and they'll have some righteous anger about the way things are and the way the system is, and they'll start to see that the problem is institutional and it's not just us as individuals just making individual choices, but that there are entire systems in affect us. And the unfortunate thing is Squid Game exists. Squid Game exists. Squid Game is amazing. You know what else exists? Squid Game, the reality TV show. And things like that make me think I'm wrong. I had this hypothesis that maybe media is something that could really set people's like hearts light, but we don't all interact with media the same way. I mean, I know there's some music out there where I'm definitely not listening to the lyrics, so I don't blame people fully, but at the same time, I do wish it had a wider reach. I feel like if you already understand class struggle and stuff like that, the show will mean something for you. But if you're somebody who could care less, you might just be there for a good time. You might just be there for the visuals, which, yeah, I do watch it for the visuals. They're nice. Yeah, I find myself really having enjoyed this show, enjoying a lot of things because visually they are amazing. And if a person is going to come into these things just for looking at pretty pictures fly by on the screen, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That really is. I think even when people were watching Squid Game, some people were just there for the gore. Like, for real. They were just there because of the shock factor of it all. And you can kind of see that from the TV show. It was just there to exist as something for money. I don't. I don't. Okay, so this is the conclusion. I think that even if people don't fully get the message of class struggle media, it at least like shows us. And I do think there are some people who will get like a halfway there kind of thing, where it's like you don't honestly, for any kind of phenomenal change to happen, or world changing change, world changing change, um the kind of stuff that changes the course of history. I guess time is not linear, and it's a construct and all the other stuff. um I think just having people be halfway and sort of saying, you know what, I am actually just pissed off because I got bosses who suck, and I've got a state that keeps telling me they're going to do things and they don't do things, and I want a solution to that. And we end up feeling like we need to revolt. I mean, I can't believe that every single person who was a part of the writer's strike is someone who is radical. But all of them, I'm sure, were sick and tired of the conditions that they work under. These are some talented and some just people who have a general interest in what they're doing. Yeah, I believe the person who creates a Captain Lazerhawk and the person who creates a... See what I mean? It's very hard for me to come up with a bad animated show from this year. Right now. I'm sure there have been some. But fuck, I'm not gonna speak about the anime thing. I think the person who creates a Captain Laserhawk versus whoever the fuck the writers are for Love Island or whatever deserve fair pay. It shouldn't be on Wikipedia as more exceptional or anything. I think even when a person is not the most talented at something, they still deserve their fair pay. And I believe that we should all believe in that. We should all believe in fairness. We should all believe in care and empathy. And we should understand that, maybe fucked up world requires you fuck certain things up about that world. Or you just fuck things up in general. And I am hoping that the resurgence in this kind of animation is showing that people in the creative industry in general are ready to come together and say fuck you to the people who barely pay them, the people who make large amounts of money while they're, the ones who are creating this work that inspires us, that's just pretty to us, that's there for us to absorb and love, a good pastime from the general misery that exists in this world. And if that's what it reflects, I guess that's good enough. I guess that's fine. Yeah. More power to the animation industry creating work that at least creates emotional responses, even emotional responses, whether those be good or bad. And I feel like I'm supposed to end this video already. What was the last thing I was supposed to say here? Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video, y'all. Come back for more. My other videos will definitely be a lot more... What is the word, man? Concise? Precise? Right. Whatever. They'll just make a lot more sense. So you should come for the next video. Please like and subscribe and all the other good things that you could do to get my channel some views. I was serious about needing to monetize some of this. Simply because I am studying again soon and I need cash monies. Education isn't free, So any kind of help would be great. We have the Patreon in the description down below, And maybe some links to other YouTube videos you could watch from people who are from way bigger channels than mine. I just want people to like the story and go watch it and, interact about it. I'd like to talk about it. I'd like to talk about what you guys got out of the show and what it meant for you. I mean, do you think, it means something that at this point in time we're seeing such a large resurgence of anti-authoritarian media, even if some of it is not against the right kind of authority, or what's actually authority in the society? Did you guys find it surprising that there was no outrage against this show, or was it maybe because the show wasn't that big? I did not do a lot of research for this video. Yeah, that's it. You can leave now. Three. Yeah.